This week's project is another invitation to let go of perfection, to breathe and loosen your grip a little. For this week's project, I have cardstock and a container slightly larger. I did cut the cardstock down to size. Shaving cream, food coloring in the only two colors I had, a plastic card, and plastic report cover in lieu of a cookie sheet, as I did not want to use items I would want to use food with again. The first step is putting down a nice layer of shaving cream in our pan. We are going to explore a simple technique that echoes the ancient Japanese art of Suminagashi, which is literally floating ink. But instead of ink and water, we will use shaving cream and food coloring. Ordinary items you may already have at home to create something fascinating. Another item I am using is a plastic palette knife. When I have done this project with kids at the library where I work, we've used plastic knives. A palette knife is what I had handy. You could also use your plastic card, an index card, or a piece of your cardstock. You do not necessarily need to try to level out your layer of shaving cream. I started with my red food coloring. I typically don't use food coloring for food, but for STEM projects at the library and art, so STEAM projects at the library. This week's project is more than just colorful play. It's another invitation to let go of perfection, to breathe and loosen your grip a little. As with the abstract print we lay down and traced, there's a certain level of ambiguity with this project. And that's a big part of our focus today. The not knowing, the not controlling, and the opportunity to not need it all to make sense. I started moving my color around in kind of a simple, rather traditional marbling. After you've moved your color around in a way you find interesting, lay your paper gently on top and press it down enough to feel like you have the entire paper touching the surface of your shaving cream. There's no way to know exactly what your paper is going to look like. Here is what my first paper looked like. The purpose of the plastic card was to scrape excess shaving cream off the paper, which I totally blanked on and started using my palette knife. I have already noticed a significant difference with this particular shaving cream, which I believe was from Walmart, and what I've used in the past. The first thing was less squish, if you will, which led to the second difference of there being less shaving cream remaining on the paper. I added more food coloring for a second print. When we drip our color, we can't control exactly where and how it falls. And as we move it, we can't completely control the pattern we create. Sometimes the print you find when you raise your paper will look similar to how you expected it to, and sometimes it won't. And that's okay. This is another project that can help us let go of perfection and let go of expectations. Letting go of expectations in our art can help us find more peace with ambiguity and a release of some of our need to control and the discomfort that comes with the things we can't control. As we learn to embrace even the messy process in our art, it helps us be more able to embrace the messy process that is life. Not everything in life can be clearly defined or figured out, but not everything needs to be. But it can be very difficult to sit in that reality, to accept that it's okay if we can't understand things, if we can't solve things, if we can't make them make the sense we think they should. When we get immersed in the process of making art that we can't predict exactly how it will turn out, it can help increase our emotional flexibility. It can help us overcome anxiety by inspiring creativity. It can be difficult to let go of perfection in our art. But if we struggle with letting go of it in our lives, learning to do it in our art can really help. When we shift our focus, not knowing can inspire curiosity and creativity instead of anxiety and worry. In my most recent video revisit to the 52-week art journal journey, one important part of the prompt was using curiosity to counteract fear. Getting stuck in a pattern of avoidance and resistance and dread when it comes to situations that cause me anxiety is going to keep me trapped in an unhelpful loop. For some people, letting go of perfection and embracing the process, the messy process of this type of art making, is an act of bravery. And making that step here, whether it's difficult or easy for you, can help translate it to your life outside your art. This week's project is another one that has no wrong. There's no way to get it wrong. There's no right. You don't have to know exactly what it's supposed to look like to enjoy it. It's about being present in the making, being present in the not knowing, and being immersed in the process. It gives your mind, your heart, your soul a chance to rest, letting go of needing to control the results. Have fun with this process. Relax. Enjoy the ambiguity. Play with other colors. Just be careful of making mud. That whole primary and complementary colors thing. Yellow and red can make a gorgeous orange. Blue and red, not so much with food coloring, but blue and red do make purple. Blue and yellow make a great green. Green and red, not so great. Orange and blue, also not so great. Have fun, experiment. As I said, this shaving cream is a little different. Typically by this point, I would have had to add more shaving cream, so there would have been more variation in the colors on the surface. And this is the first time it was possible to make prints that were so similar. Typically, papers pull up significantly differently, leaving the surface significantly different. One of the beauties of this project, usually when I've done it, is each print is so completely unique. This, as I said, is very different. One thing I failed to mention earlier is when you scrape off the excess shaving cream, even if you have a lot more than this, your paper may be a little damp, but the color is dry. You don't have to worry about it transferring to anything else. So yes, as I said, and so often say, relax, have fun, play. I will speed things up a bit here because I did so enjoy the relaxing and playing that I had over half an hour of printmaking footage. Whether you have half an hour or just a few minutes, you can practice creative self-care with this type of art making this week and experience its benefits. I hope you feel encouraged to take the time to make some art this week. It's not a waste of time. It's so important for our mental health to exercise our creativity in ways we find meaningful and enjoy. I hope this color play inspires you to play with color yourself. And I would love to see what you're creating. If you'd like to join my Better with Art online community private Facebook group, there will be a link in the description. If you sign up there, it's also signing up to receive occasional emails from me. I tried to keep them weekly, but that's just not realistic at this point in my life, and that's okay. Well, I have to let it be okay. As you may have just noticed, you don't need any tool to swirl your color. a finger works just fine. And spreading the color more like frosting instead of dragging your tool through it creates another effect. Yes, relax, have fun, play. There is no right or wrong, no way to get this wrong. The best type of creative self-care, art making. And with Better with Art up until this point, all of our art was in our art journal. Well, we did do some art outside of it to put into it. And next week, I will show you some ways you can use this paper in your art journal and also outside your art journal. It is a great thing to have an art journal as a safe place to express yourself and experiment with art making without fear of what others think. Journaling with words can also be an important part of creative self-care, and that's why I've brought back the 52-week art journal journey. And here you can see that it can be a lot of fun to not use a tool. I did add a washcloth instead of just scraping because I found that worked quite well, and it works well on the hands. And unlike other methods of removing excess shaving cream, there's no mess, just squish it into the cloth. If you have found encouragement and inspiration in this video, please give me a like, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming creative self-care encouragement, and help me reach more people with the message that taking time to make art is not a waste of time, because we are better with art.